Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this regularly scheduled Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Our first item will be a pledge to the flag. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There have been no executive sessions since our last meeting, so at this point I would like to open up the floor to communication from citizens. If anyone would like to address the board on Zoom, please click the raise hand button to be recognized. In person, please raise your hand. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Gene Miller, but they call me JJ Miller. I live at 1318 East 11th Avenue. I come before you because there is a major problem now in our neighborhood with a structure on Whiteford Road, which I think you're very familiar with. And I believe the address is 1326 Whiteford Road. It's an old stone home that was burned out about 6 years ago. There's been chemicals and trash dumped at this location. There are suspicious individuals entering the structure and the property day and night. The police have been called several times about this problem, and residents in this area feel the structure is not structurally sound. I have before you a petition or a copy of a petition that we, the undersigned, are concerned citizens who urge our leaders to act now to condemn and demolish the structure located at 1326 Whiteford Road. Just last week, we had an incident where a hooded guy got out at midnight and cut up through a neighbor's yard to go to this house. I've chased children out of that burned out house. There are vagrants in and out all the time, and it gets boarded up, but then they take the stuff off. So it's been, like I said, about 5 or 6 years now that it's been standing there like that, and it's not safe. So if you would like to have this copy of the petition, I'm not sure if you would like to have it or not.
Can you hand it to Sue?
Yep.
Thank you.
And I have one other neighbor here that'd like to talk on behalf of that because the incident was last week up through his yard. Now, from my front porch, I can see people coming and going. They're walking up through the neighbor's yard to get to this house and do whatever it is. But the garage with it too is also falling down, and people have been in there. So we have a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and it's not a safe thing for anybody, really. So
Thank you.
Yep.
Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Eric Mercado. I live in 1205 11th Avenue. And like one of the neighbors was saying about these abandoned houses, we started getting a lot of headache, no peace in this neighborhood, especially in my house. Since years ago, I started dealing with animals, rats all over the place because of the trash. Now, I lived there for 9 years, but after I installed that fence and the house got burned, I installed a fence. I paid for it, the whole thing. And I guess cleaner to something, they just broke a big hole in the fence, which now I have to run with that consequences of broken fence. Trees from that property start falling into my property, so I have to start cutting branches all over the place because it started getting into my property. Last week I had a call at midnight, 9/11, because there was a hoodie guy in my backyard. My wife was talking in the phone and looking through the front window. The guy tried to get a shortcut going through my cars, and when my wife saw it, she started running to the back to see where the guy was going. So it looks like the guy was not oriented, but he finally, working in circles in my yard, he went to the house the abandoned house. Also, I had to be installing solar lights because I don't feel safe. The street is very dark and the backyards too. Installation of cameras. I have a little kid. He's 3 years old. My wife too. We always hear something now. Does not feel safe because this situation happening in our neighborhood. So it's getting a little bit out of control, a little bit of headaches because we want to live in peace. I've been here 9 years in this neighborhood and I love it. I like to be part of the Springettsbury Township. Love it. Neighbors are very good people, and we want to maintain the peace. That's what we want. But right now, problems are getting. Every single week, there's another problem related to the abandoned house. That's all I want to say today.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Online,
Hi, Rob.
hand raised.
Rob, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Township Supervisors. I am one of the neighbors that signed that petition. I am directly next to that abandoned house. I am at 1312 Whiteford Road. I moved in about 2 weeks ago. I'm guessing I only won the bid on the house because people really didn't want to buy a house next to the abandoned house. The abandoned house wasn't really a concern to me until I met the neighbors and they were talking about, suspicious people moving in and out of that house, people cutting through backyards to get there, people going through, kind of sneaking out other people's vehicles. As a new homeowner, first-time homeowner, and with a newborn that just turned a month old today, I'll be getting cameras put up as soon as possible. That wasn't an expense I had planned on doing right away after buying a home, but that is something that I'm going to do to protect myself, let alone I would feel bad if anyone, I'm going to go get some beware of dog signs too, just in case people try to jump the fence and come into my backyard. My dog is very, very friendly, but not to strangers. So if people are moving around out there, which is what I'm hearing, I'm going to be putting up beware of dog signs in case someone crosses over the fence and gets hurt, because I don't want to get sued for someone in my yard getting bit by my dog. So I'll be doing the cameras soon and those beware of dog signs soon. But this is definitely a concern. And I would like to talk to the lady that circulated the petition about doing a neighborhood crime watch in the meantime until this problem is solved. So that's all I have. Thank you for letting me take the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on Zoom that would like to have their opportunity? Mark, can you get with the police department and with Public Works? I'd like to know what, and probably with our legal counsel and see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll look at that next week.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, then we'll move on to our engineering reports. Diana?
Good evening, gentlemen. I have no changes or updates to our report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
John?
Good evening. I don't have any additions to my report. Just on tonight's agenda is a plan review or a plan, subdivision plan, and the traffic signals for Eastern Boulevard and South Northern Way and Eastern Boulevard and Kingston Road. So if you have any questions on those, we could talk about it at that time.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Next, we have our consent agenda, items A through G. Are there any items anyone would like to have removed for further discussion?
I'll move to approve consent agenda items A through G as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Next, under bids, proposals, contracts, and agreements, we have authorization to award Eastern Boulevard Kingston Road and Eastern Boulevard Northern Way traffic signal replacement project to CM High Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $741,000.
Mr. Chairman, this is one project doing two intersections on Eastern Boulevard with full traffic signal replacements, poles, mast arms, everything. This money is accounted for in the budget, capital budget, and I recommend approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the authorization to award Eastern Boulevard Kingston Road and Eastern Boulevard Northern Way traffic signal replacement project to CM High Inc. in an amount not to exceed $741,000.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next, we have subdivision 2026-0003, York Galleria Limited Partnership, 2899 Whiteford Road, CBL Properties.
Good evening to the Board of Supervisors this evening. We have the two-lot subdivision here, and it's in essence creating a separate lot for the Hollywood Casino, even though it's still under the CBL or the limited partnership. It's not affiliated with the casino, if you will. It's a subdivision that the Galleria Mall is doing ultimately to create a separate lot. So it's a 9.410 acre subdivision, and then the remaining parcel will be the 53.904 acres. That's the remaining property of the Galleria Mall. We do have representatives here from Site Design Concepts. Mr. Barshinger is here, and I think there's also a representative from CBL, I believe, tonight, or potentially it's the York Galleria Limited Partnership representative. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Barshinger.
Yes, good evening. My name is Andy Barshinger. As Randall said, he covered most of it, but I will just go over a few things that was mentioned before, either at the Planning Commission or in other meetings at the staff meeting. Waiver requests, we are requesting waivers for the preliminary plan requirement to combine the two, to have a preliminary/final subdivision plan. So that's what is in front of you tonight. In addition, we are requesting a waiver of the requirement for 1 inch equals 50 feet for the plan scale, or 1 inch equals 100. The plan scale that we're showing on our plan is actually 1 inch equals 40, so it actually improves the legibility of the plan as opposed to 50. One other item here to note is another waiver would be for the concrete monuments. So we originally were asking for the waiver for the concrete monument requirement outright. We've actually amended that now. So we have set 2 concrete monuments on the longest line of the subdivision plan. And one of the comments that was brought up in the Planning Commission was an issue with we proposed nails in the pavement for the other property corners. We have since changed that, revised that on the plan. So in addition to the concrete monuments that we set, we also set steel pins in curb islands where available. And there was one or two, I believe, maybe just one, where we did set a nail, but it was in the top of the curb, so there wouldn't be any concern for the snow plows there. So all of the property corners that were set for the proposed subdivision are either concrete monuments in the curb islands, pins in the curb islands, or nails in the concrete curb itself, not in the pavement. Okay, and then the next waiver request was D, and that is for environmental impact studies. We requested that waiver because of the lack of construction being proposed by this plan. And the last one is similar, and that is for the waiver for site distances. And again, there are no road alignments or access changes, construction proposed by this plan. And I believe that's all I have. I would gladly take any questions you may have.
Yes, I'm curious as to whether or where you are with that agreement relative to the use of the common area, the lights and the parking lot and so forth. There was comments as a condition for that agreement to be constructed.
Sure. So the declaration has been prepared. It's been submitted to the township as of, I believe, this afternoon. I've received an email from Randall. As far as I understand, the solicitor has signed off on the agreement.
Yeah, that's correct. I talked to Attorney Sanders and then also looked at it, and he felt comfortable with it moving forward.
Thank you.
All right, so do we need to make that as a condition now that we have an acceptable declaration?
I think we should. We have not seen it.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, I think if you guys, well, what would you be conditioning that the board approves the final declaration, or what would?
No, we don't accept things day of. So if you just signed it tonight, in our minds, that did not meet the Friday deadline or sometime last week for documents to be completed to us. So
Well, when was it submitted, Randall?
It was submitted with the resubmission of the plan. I'm 99% sure that I included that as part of what I provided to Dory for the Board of Supervisors. I believe that you should have it in your packet.
a signed copy.
Not a signed copy, but a copy of, because I don't have a signed copy, the actual document itself, but nothing executed.
So it could be as simple as this, Mr. Chairman, is just to make it a condition of receipt and satisfactory review of the signed executed declaration.
And I would recommend that we also make sure that that declaration is recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense from the perspective of, as long as it matches the draft of what we've said is acceptable to us. I mean, the one thing was that, and Randall asked about this earlier, just to record that with the plan whenever that happens.
Yeah, and just to jump in, that's the plan. We do have a signed copy that will be going back in with the revised plans and subsequently recorded.
I guess my questions would be more related to CBL, and again, my background is in the shopping center industry for 50 years, so obviously this is a great move on your part. You can spin off the casino and generate a bunch of cash that is sorely needed by CBL at the moment. What are your plans for the rest of the mall after you presumably spin this off to either Hollywood Casino or another buyer?
Good evening, David Newhoff, CBL Properties, 2030 Hamilton Place Boulevard, Chattanooga. Great to be back here at Springettsbury. Appreciate the question.
Sure.
Currently, there are no plans. There are no plans to flip it. There are no plans to sell it to anybody. These are kind of internal, sometimes things that we do within our properties throughout the portfolio. If you recall, we actually did the same thing with the Red Robin at the front of the property, so we did subdivide that. It allows for flexibility. Yes, it does. There's, Penn National, great tenant, very credit-worthy tenant as well. Mm-hmm. But there are no current plans for that or anything with the mall currently. You're well aware, being 50 years in the business, that the landscape of the mall business is changing
Enormously.
incredibly over the last
Absolutely.
10, 20 years, frankly. Part of my job is to figure out those opportunities throughout our portfolio where we can create change, transform certain properties to make them a little more sustainable, make them a little more vibrant. And we are constantly working on that. I don't have a current plan. There are no current opportunities for the mall proper at this point. There are some things that are happening on part of the property that we don't own with the storage land that's there. As you know, there's a proposal to do a multifamily project there. So there's a little bit of a change that's happening there. We think the casino was obviously a good addition. Could there be some things happening here? Possibly.
Sure.
And we're constantly looking to try to do that. That's kind of where we're at the moment.
David, have you retained ownership of the Red Robin since?
We have, yes.
Since subdividing it?
Yes, we still own
Okay,
it.
so you still own it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Again, it's flexibility in case.
Sure.
A lot of times it could be for a financing opportunity as well, not necessarily a sale type of thing. So,
I understand.
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Timing seems kind of strange. Now, so you spin off that Red Robin you still own over here, money-making opportunities, bankruptcy happens again, walk away, but I still got money coming in on these two. I just, you know, I'm concerned about the lack of effort that I see. At least there hasn't been any communication with us since I met with CBL probably about
That was probably.
Charles, how many years ago was it now? 4 or 5?
When
I
the
think it
kiss-
was early in COVID.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was post
That was
or
me.
pre-COVID.
That was-
I think it
well,
was
there was somebody
post,
else there,
wasn't it?
too.
Well, was there? Okay.
I
remember
think
talking
there were
with
3 of you
Christina.
there.
What's that?
And I think there were 3 of you in that meeting, and we were
okay.
talking about apartments, restaurants.
I mean, that's, yeah.
A bunch of different things. And you guys said you were going to come back to us with some options and thoughts and work with us to take a look at potential LERTA or other economic development type tools, and crickets. So
We've been active in other properties throughout the portfolio where there has been opportunities that have come to us, and we've worked through those. Bel Air, we did one down not
do you
too
wait
far
for
from here.
opportunities to come to you,
No,
or are you
we're-
actively searching for
Both.
opportunities?
Both, but in those instances, they did come to us. Certain markets, there's demand, a little stronger demand out there, where, people are seeking us out, knowing that there can be changes within mall properties. We are totally open for business in all of our properties. We understand that these are not really going to be 100% retail anymore.
And I don't think we're expecting that they
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have
So-
had a multi-year jump on the people putting in the multifamily on the opposite side of the
Yeah,
mall.
yep.
If there had been follow-through on
Yeah.
what our discussions were.
Right.
I'm
point.
concerned.
Fair point.
And I'm, trying to figure out what we can do there to make this more vibrant. I would appreciate more dialogue,
Okay,
quite honestly.
sure. We can
And
make that.
we have an expert sitting here too, so
I wouldn't go that far, but
50 years is.
I've
is
known,
that-
I've known
that's-
Jimmy Schmeider for an
Mr.
awfully
Chairman, I have
long
a
time.
follow-up question for the representatives from CBL. Oh, sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did you have something, Charles? No? Oh, David, I had one other question. I know at one time, Hollywood Casino was considering redeveloping the upper level of the Sears into shops and entertainment. Is that still even on the table?
Well, this kind of goes back to your point as well. We have talked to them, not talked to them, talked to them, not talked to them.
Sure.
There have been a number of times where we have had dialogue to make that happen, and we just, they have not figured out what they want to do yet. So we are more than welcome
Sure.
to try to work with them in any way we can, but we have not been able to at this point. Correct.
No other questions? I think you've adequately answered what I needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's Charles. I did have a follow-up question for the representatives from CBL. You were able to have dialogue with our consultant as part of our comprehensive plan effort. Is that correct?
Do you remember when that was?
It may have been, I don't know. Mark Hodgkinson might know better, but I'm guessing 12 to 16 months ago.
That's when it would have started. It is not complete, or it's just completing.
Yeah.
There's a lot been going on in our office. I could go back and look at my notes. Who's the consultant?
Marion Hall.
Marion Hall.
CDM
A.L.
Smith.
A.L.
Marion
Smith?
Hall from CDM Smith. I gave her, I forget his last name, but his first name's Lewis. That's who we met with like
Lewis
5 years
Hilton?
ago at the mall.
Lewis was
Yes,
your.
that's the contact I gave her.
Okay. I can ask Lewis. I don't recall that. He and I worked together, so yes. I can find out. Be glad to look at the plan if there's a draft out there.
There might be thoughts. I don't think.
I only ask is that was an opportunity for us to have some dialogue back and forth between the mall and the township, of course.
I know that we had given her contact information. I was assuming that contact had been made and that there had been some dialogue.
I don't recall that there was, sir.
Yeah, I also call your attention then if for CBL to look at what we are actually proposing in our comprehensive plan in terms of a strategic opportunities for the mall, or at least as a zone for us to focus on a redevelopment. So that might be also something that you could help us with as we go forward.
Sure. Love to talk to economic development too. I mean, anybody that's considering a move into the area, love to talk to them.
I mean, quite honestly, I thought Marion had talked to them from the way she talked about creating that economic zone for the mall.
I'll look
So,
in my notes.
You might have some benefits there that
Sure.
could refocus your efforts.
Fair enough.
I don't have any more questions. Anyone else?
Yeah, I've got one. I'm looking over the declaration now, and I'm embarrassed to tell you that I didn't see it attached. I apologize, but it seems to refer to an operating agreement that was signed dated 1990 between Boscov Department Store and CBL. But that document is not attached to this document. So everything in this document says all of the other things stay in effect in the 1990 document, but unless it's attached, I have no way of referring to them.
I believe that was in the original submittal, is that correct?
Yeah, we got all of those documents. I just didn't provide that because it was long recorded documentation, even though maybe there's merit in the supervisors seeing those. That one original operating agreement was rather voluminous, if I remember correctly, and so
I'm sure
I
it
didn't
was.
see the rationale behind
I'm not looking forward
having
to
all of
reading
that.
it.
Yeah, and I don't.
Not looking forward to reading it, but for instance, paragraph 2 says, "The premises as separate divided lot or parcel shall continue to be subject to the following provisions of the operating agreement." A, Article 3, Article 8, Article, and down and down and down. And unless you know what those articles are in the original document, you have no idea
Yeah, I know.
what this was referring to.
Sure, it's in
I mean,
recorded.
I don't know that we have to postpone it for that, but,
Yeah.
but unless somebody wants to go through, well.
I think the condition
Has James gone through the original agreement? and
We've had a
cross-referenced?
copy. I talked to him earlier and he said he didn't have concerns. I didn't go line by line about the initial agreement. I would assume that he has if that was his feedback.
And
I think the condition that we discussed earlier will probably cover it.
Yeah, I really don't, I don't have a concern about doing the subdivision. My only concern is what happens afterwards, and that
Yeah,
depends on
I have
which way
concern with
CBL
what's
decides
next.
to move. Yeah, who knows? Crystal ball.
It's a fair comment.
Yeah, not doing this isn't putting anybody in a better situation than we are right now anyway, so.
Agreed. If
Charles,
anything,
you want to make that motion?
Mr. Chairman, I got to be honest, I am having difficulty hearing you and Mr. Cox tonight.
Sue, do you have the meat of the condition? I do. Okay, so why don't we take the waivers first? Whoever. Bob, you want to do that?
okay. Mr. Chairman, I would move for authorization to award, for SD 2026-003 York Limited Partnership, 2899 Whiteford Road, CBL Properties, subject to the following modifications and waivers: 289-10 preliminary plan, 289-13-A plan scale, 289-15 environmental impact studies, 289-26 concrete monuments, 289-42.A safe site distances, and subject to the condition of approval declaration
Sue is gonna read
being
back to
signed
you.
by, I'm sorry? Oh, Sue was going to, okay,
Okay,
then I'll stop.
so, do you want to?
It's somewhere back. So
Okay, all right. With go ahead, finish what you were going to say, Bob.
Well, Randall summed it up here at the back. With reference to subdivision plan SD 26-003, final subdivision plan for the York Galleria Limited Partnership, 2899 Whiteford Road, I move to recommend the approval of the requested 5 modifications as listed above, modifications and waivers as listed above,
And the condition.
and the condition.
Well, there's no condition listed above, really.
The condition as.
Maybe it is.
No, it's the condition as discussed.
Right. Condition of execution of the declaration regarding operating agreement and lease by the appropriate parties and recording of that operating agreement.
Thank you for the tag team help.
This is Charles, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Gentlemen? Any communication from supervisors this evening?
I'll just,
Go ahead.
I'll just give a brief update on Yalfer. Of course, Don and I are the representatives serving on that commission and last week's meeting, the issue of staffing resurfaced again, in that we had a member of the union present a petition that they had gathered with signatures supporting the case for increasing the staffing at Yalfer. And that was followed by about a 16-page report that the chief prepared, which is handed to the commission, which I've not had a chance to look at yet, but goes through a lot of the details in terms of why he and his command staff support additional staffing. So there'll be more to come on that. Update on the charter agreement. It appears that in July, we're going to meet with 2 or possibly 3 consulting firms to help the commission take a look at the allocation of costs that are charged to each municipality, which is that allocation's been in place since Manchester joined the fold, and the charter agreement calls for that to be reviewed periodically. So we're going to take a look at getting some outside help to help us reevaluate that. So more to follow.
Don, you had something?
Yeah, just one kind of internal for us. I had someone prior to this meeting that was asking me how to find the Zoom link. I told him it was on the website, but I have no idea where it was. I did ultimately find a Zoom link on the website, which was not the Zoom link for tonight's meeting. So I think we need to figure out how to make sure that that's on the website. I mean, clearly some people got here, but I know one of the person that got here only got here because I sent him the right link. And I do have a screen capture that I'll be happy to send to the manager of the wrong link. We do have kind of a complex system there where we say, you know, go here an hour before it starts, and I think it says go to this link, and the link that it refers to on the one page, I couldn't find anywhere. The only way I found it was by searching on the website in the search box for the word Zoom. That's all I have.
We'll get that corrected.
Thank you. This is the second meeting of the month, even though it's the first meeting of the month. So you're up, Tom.
Yeah, I don't have any updates to the report you guys received from James.
Any questions for our solicitor? Managers report, Mark.
I don't have anything to add to my written report, but glad to answer any questions anyone would have.
Anything? All right, then we'll move to ordinances and resolutions. We have ordinance number 2026-03, amending park rules and regulations for public parks and recreational grounds in Springettsbury Township.
Mr. Chairman, this ordinance amendment has been advertised and is ready for adoption.
Any discussion? We have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move for adoption of ordinance number 2026-03, amending park rules and regulations for public parks and recreational grounds in Springettsbury Township.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Did everybody online hear that? Okay. Carries unanimous. Anything on old business anyone would like to discuss? New business, acknowledgement of receipt of resignation from Paula Musselman.
I wanted to ask a question about the old business. Am I permitted to do that?
We have time. We have time.
Sidewalks on 11th Avenue in Wayford Road?
Can't hear you.
Come on up to the
Can't
microphone.
hear
I
you.
can't- Yeah.
What is the old business with the sidewalks on 11th Avenue? And
We were keeping it in front of mind until we get through construction so that we know that we still have other issues to deal with once all of the other problems go away.
can I ask what other problems that you're,
The bridge construction and the traffic circulation and all of that.
okay. Because the traffic has decreased considerably. But the speeding issue is still those signs out there do not even deter those people whatsoever. So they still kind of fly up and down the road. My concern is the sidewalks on, especially on my street. If you put them in, you're going to have to move all the telephone poles back, and then you're taking people's front yards, and we have nowhere to park.
So this is part of the dual-edged sword of this. And not only that, but the cost of the sidewalks would fall on the homeowners.
Yes, and that's not,
So if we hear the complaints, our hands are kind of tied to do something unless we do something that you don't want us to do. So I mean, we're in a little bit of a conundrum here.
okay. Have there been complaints to have sidewalks put in, or?
That was one of the things that was considered early on to move pedestrians away from the cars flying around the corners and speeding where sight distances were low.
Okay.
So is that something that's reasonable? I don't know.
And I think it was especially related to when the school buses were picking up and dropping
Right.
off kids for school.
And
That
how
they
they
were
get
standing
home.
in the street, and then they had speeders, and they were talking, there was several residents that mentioned sidewalks would cure that. But it creates
Well,
other issues, of course.
Well, I did go to a school board meeting and had those bus stops changed because they had kids from Whiteford Road and Edwards Lane walking clear down 11th Avenue to the church to get the bus. So that was ridiculous because of all the cars. But I don't think the sidewalks is really going to do anything, and I don't know.
We've been
And the speed
keeping-
bumps didn't help either because they tore them out. So
Yeah, we've been keeping that there as a placeholder to keep it kind of in front of mind, but if that's not a solution, then we could change that to monitor 11th Avenue and Whiteford Road situation.
okay.
If we get through all the construction and the different things that are going on there and we still have an issue, or we could take it off for now and just address it if you come back in and say, hey, we're back to what we had before.
Okay. Well, like I said, the traffic has decreased since the bridge is open. But it's just the speeding, particularly on Sunday when church is in. They kind of fly down. But those signs that you guys put in, they have worked somewhat. But you catch somebody coming up and it's flashing, 30, 40 mile an hour, and kids are playing basketball or riding bikes, whatever, and you're screaming at them to slow down. And, of course, they give you the high sign and the colorful metaphors. So,
Those are the people that are racing to church?
yeah, they're racing. Yeah, yep, you got it.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not
I
being
don't-
I'm
I don't have a solution for that.
I don't either, but I'm not being judgmental. But yeah, I'm just concerned about the sidewalks. And yes, the fact that it falls on the homeowners is kind of costly. And
Yeah.
and like some of the front yards, they're not very big. And you'll be taking their parking spaces. Where do we park then? We can't park in the grass, and whatnot. So it's a catch-22, I guess.
Sometimes there are no easy solutions.
I know, except to throw nails out on the road or something, when they're coming by. But I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, now, acknowledgement, receipt of Paula Musselman's resignation from Planning Commission.
Move to acknowledge Paula's resignation with regrets and thank her for her service.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Takes us to the end of our agenda. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.